All right. Now, be cognizant of how you answer each question. Try to drop hints on things that you hope they will pick up on and ask, and steer the conversation your way so that you could share more insight. So, like I said, with Ish, when she said, it helps me build my confidence and helped me really better myself and deal and engage with healing for my mental health. I thought that was a great breadcrumb that was dropped for someone to pick up on, if not immediately, then within the next question line. So those are things that the judges themselves would most likely be looking to pick up on. If they ask you random questions, that means they didn't find what you said compelling, interesting, or striking. Okay? And they're just moving on to the next topic to see what they can ask you. So please be intentional in your answers. And your answer should be just like pool. When you hit that ball, you don't hit the ball to knock it to the pocket and you're done. You hit the ball, knock it in the pocket, and set up for the next shot. If you guys play pool, you know what I'm talking about. If not, then forget that analogy altogether. All right. Let's go on with Vanessa. You're next, okay? All right. Let's jump to Ish. You're the first judge.
Hi, Vanessa. Tell me a little bit about your platform.
Yeah, so my social platform is advocating for labor reform and increasing access to worker rights, specifically within the blue collar line of work. This is really inspired by just watching my family and my grandmother go to work, come home from work. That's so funny because I actually never saw them when I was a child. So that really made me curious to see how they worked and the types of jobs they did, and the curiosity to know whether they were informed of their rights in the workplace really transpired my education into majoring in labor and employment studies and wanting to further advocate for labor reform. I think it's really important to me. But yeah, that inspired my social platform, and it is what it's about.
Judge Kylie.
Why did you choose to join Miss Asian Global?
I joined because my mom really wanted me to do Miss Asian Global. I think growing up, people have always told her that she should compete in pageants, but she had me when she was 19. And unfortunately, that is an immediate disqualification having a child. So I think she really just wanted to have me experience something that she wanted. And this experience is really just for her. I think joining Miss Asian Global was a good choice for me just because I've been able to meet so many great people. The network is amazing and I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm not so feminine. I wouldn't characterize myself that way, but I'm learning how to walk in heels, and I'm learning how to pick out my dresses. So it's been fun.
Judge May.
How would you characterize your childhood?
I thought I had a great childhood. I mean, I did the normal things everyone else did. I learned how to ride a bike. I learned how to swim. I played sports. I would say there were turbulent times in terms of I was raised primarily by a single mother, and I've had situations where there weren't a lot of, we didn't have very standard housing situations. But overall, I think my childhood was great, and I feel like it was definitely impactful in shaping who I am today. And I definitely grew up on Pokemon, so it's become my coping mechanism today. So it was great.
Judge Mayfree.
If women can rule the world, what would it be?
Can you repeat that question? Sorry.
If women can rule the world, what would it be?
It would be amazing. I mean, women are so strong and powerful. We do so much, and it's like a given almost. But we've taken so much animosity and made such positive impacts in the world.
Great timing. Good job. All right. Well done. I love the story of a great question, by the way, Ish, about asking the platform just to kind of get some background. It would have been great. I would have loved to hear someone ask, what did your mom or grandma do that was so impactful that it made you register that was something that was unjust, right? And maybe even unlawful. that you decided to go down this path and avenue to make it's your thesis as well as your crusade, right? That was something I would like to hear from some of the judges that asked, because that, and I don't know if you intended that or not, but that seemed like it was a pretty obvious breadcrumb to me. Okay, good job all around so far. Let's go to you, Kylie. You ready?
Yeah.
I
Right.
actually had a question.
Yes.
What if someone like asks, like, how would you characterize your childhood, but it was like awful?
You can share. Okay, that question was asked. I was right here to Vanessa. Vanessa, when you got that question, what was the things going through your mind?
I mean, truthfully, I didn't have the most conventional upbringing compared to a lot of people. I mean, there are things that just struck out, but I mean, I think I've really just learned that your childhood is your childhood. You can't really change that. It is what you make of it. I think how your outcome afterwards is definitely what counts the most. So, I mean, when I was thinking about it, I feel like I'm a really good person today. So I must have had a good childhood.
Right. I think if you had a turbulent childhood, and a lot of our girls, I would say currently and in the past, have had something like this. If you had a childhood that's unconventional and rough because of either a parent or a lack of a parent, and I think you had a great childhood, probably Vanessa, mainly because I think your mom was such a strong person to ensure that whatever it took, she was gonna do everything in her power to make sure you had as normal of a childhood as possible. And I applaud her for that. And I applaud you for trying to give this back to her now and give her the experience of what she was missing. So I think that's wonderful that you and your mom have such a beautiful relationship like that. If you're more than, I would say it's a great idea to share a childhood that has been challenging, as long as you can also share how you have overcome it, either with the help of your parents inspiring you. And I would almost say, at least with the delegates I've worked with, almost 30 to 40% of them have had not the best childhood in this Asian global. But one thing that's consistent I've seen is that they either had a very amazing single parent that did the job of two parents, if not more, and just would not, whatever it took, made sure that their kids are going to be taken care of. Or the child was just so strong and able to really discipline herself and have that outlook and work hard and grow up really, really fast, mature really fast, and learn how to be independent as soon as possible. Sometimes even for the sake of being the parent to the single parent who may not be as strong and is actually struggling because of the situation they're in. That's also stories I've seen shared in interviews where they had to essentially step up the game now and almost become the parent themselves as a child. And that also pushed them up into that ladder of being mature and insightful and just very strong. So as long as you can share how you conquered your situation, either on your own or with the help of an amazing single parent or two parents, if they're still there, but there's outside forces, I think that's a wonderful way to share some of your story and your strengths and your, I guess, just your fortitude. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but I think I need to work on my answer because I don't have a good one yet, but I'll get one.
Yeah,
I'll be right back. I have to go grab Sarah, but once I'm back, she'll be here.
Okay. Oh, Sarah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I think that is a really, really good that's like an opportunity. If you had, a challenging childhood, share what was challenging about it. Some of the things like there was a girl who basically parents split up, the father ran off with another woman. The mom was not that strong, ended up having that she, had to find the child, which later became a delegate, had to go back and forth between mom and dad's place because of shared custody. Didn't really have a place. She lived out of a suitcase for like 4 years of her life. She didn't have a room to herself. So just basically went back and forth. And then you know, one of the step parents just didn't take a liking to her, and just kicked her out of the house one day right prior to her senior graduation. But she powered through it, right? She was able to essentially find her course center, and just luckily right there she ended up going to living in college, and was able to at least start her life there. Another one, which was one of the most tragic ones, where this one, not that many people know about the story, but she shares it from time to time, how she was essentially sexually abused by her own father, and how that was so damaging and scarring for her. And then later on, when her mom remarried, the stepfather did the same thing, but she powered through it. Just did not let that bring her down. There was a point in her life where she was so down and was about to give up that she switched her perception of where she was in life, and did amazing in our pageant, by the way. So many others. Another one where the father passed away and the mother was left, and mother was bitter about the whole thing and took it out on her and her sister, because she felt like she was cheated now and abusive. But she stepped up to become the third, or the parent of the family at a certain age, like 12, and help the family together. So all these things are great stories to share, because they show, like, no matter what was thrown at them, they were able to find a way to just take back control of their life, and make sure that they won't become a victim of circumstance. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I will say, I feel like I'm not someone personally that dwells on hardship too much. Like, I don't try to exploit any hardship that I have in the past. I feel like when I was answering that question, those type of questions in general, I tend to dance around it.
Mhm.
But I feel like the whole breadcrumbing interview kind of workaround makes it a little challenging to kind of, like, I wouldn't really want to go into depth about just like a lot of things, like if I was asked that, you know.
You should be able to talk about whatever you're comfortable talking about. So if you're not comfortable, or you don't feel like you want to share that part yet, or at all, then you don't have to. You can just breeze over it. Essentially, some girls make that part of their story. Others will only answer that question if it's directly asked of them. And others will choose not to really share any part of it in that kind of a setting. So it's completely up to you and how you want to approach that. But like I said, the ones I've shared with you are the ones that I would not recommend doing that if you yourself have not owned that yet. Only do that if you totally own that story and know exactly how you want to present it. And it really is like your story now to share it on the terms that you want to share. Okay. All right. Any other questions on that kind of a topic? No? All right. We just did Vanessa, right? Okay. Let's go with Kylie. Kylie, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Well, until Ish gets back, I'm just gonna have 3 judges that bounce around, so that'll be pretty quick. Okay, let's start off with you, Vanessa.
What are your interests?
I personally am really interested in dance. I've been dancing ever since I was 5 years old, and I think it's definitely going to follow me for the rest of my life, and it's always going to be a passion of mine. Currently, I am a volunteer dance teacher at both the organization's Boys and Girls Club as well as Friends of Children with Special Needs. And as part of my social platform called Dare to Dance, my mission is to basically, through dance, teach children to find confidence within their own skin and to help them feel like their best selves. Because I think when you have a passion, that's the key to contributing or finding the confidence to be able to do what you want in life and to follow your aspirations.
Judge May.
What type of relationship do you want to have with dance in the future?
I would say I'm definitely not going to become a professional dancer, but I definitely will keep it as a side hobby, not only just to stay fit, but just to stay healthy and just really enjoy it throughout my life.
Judge Mayfree.
What can you do to stop the war?
Stop the
The war.
Russian-Ukraine war.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I think the US is is a very great country, and I think we definitely have the responsibility to do something about what's going on. But I don't think that we can have any direct effect on what's going on there, because that's something that has to be resolved between Russia and Ukraine. But I definitely think that, things like sanctions and just putting in measures to discourage the war from happening, I think that's something that the US can do, but overall, there isn't necessarily really anything that we can do from our part.
Since Ish is not here, I'll ask a question to you, Kylie.
Okay.
Since you're such a great dancer, but you don't dance professionally, you don't see yourself dancing professionally in the future, then what kind of legacy and social impact you want to leave behind in the community?
So, like I mentioned earlier with my social platform, Dare to Dance, that as a volunteer dance teacher, I'm teaching dance to children to help them find confidence to basically be able to pursue their own passion. However, my social platform isn't only limited to dance itself. It could be science, music, art, or any other medium. And my core mission is to basically be able to teach children to be able to find confidence within their own skin so that they can pursue any aspirations that they have in the future. Thank you.
And we're at time. Good job. All right, I thought you did good. Well done. And you were able to really get into details with a lot of the answers. I thought, especially the one that was thrown out of the left field with the Ukraine war was a bit out there, but you were able to really touch on that and give you perspective on where we stand as a nation. So good job overall. Yeah, well done, Kylie. Okay, are you ready, May?
Yeah.
All right, let's start off with you, Mayfree. Oh, and there's Sarah. Oh, you know what? Let's start off with those guys. All right, Sarah and Ish, how awesome to see you guys on one screen together. Okay, cool. So Sarah, you guys jumped in right when we are doing interviews. So we're about to interview May here. And let's start off with you, Ish, and then I'll jump over to Sarah, and then I'll go around my screen, okay? So Ish, this is interview for May, and we're starting off with you, Judge Ish.
Where do you find your confidence?
I find my confidence by talking to others and seeing the support that they can provide me. So whether it's love and support from my family, my friends, or my sister, or myself, I feel like the love and support from everyone else, knowing that they believe in me, helps empower me and push me to become like a more confident person.
Judge Sarah.
What is your definition of beauty and how do you achieve it?
My definition of beauty is having the confidence to do whatever you want and staying true to yourself. So I think for one really great world leader, like for example, Nelson Mandela, although he doesn't really meet the traditional definition of beauty, I think that him staying true to himself and true to his passions, like any other great world leader, is someone that's really beautiful.
Judge Vanessa.
Earlier you mentioned staying true to yourself. How do you stay true to yourself?
Thank you. So one way that I try to stay true to myself is to explore my Cambodian culture. So growing up, my parents were survivors of the genocide, but because of their trauma, they weren't able to share a lot of things with me, from the food and the language. So it was up to me to talk to other people that were my age and take the initiative to really learn about my culture. And in that way, without really telling my parents, I feel like I'm staying true to myself and really try to discover and develop my own identity.
Judge Kylie.
How do you overcome any insecurities you might have?
One great way that I like to overcome my insecurities is actually by practicing pageant walking at the gym. I love like listening to like the upbeat music and seeing myself in the mirror and just wearing heels. And that's not something that I would normally do, but looking in the mirror and seeing and forming like this new identity for myself is like a really great way to do that.
Judge Mayfree.
Who make life easier between men or women?
I believe that both men and women make my life easier. I feel like everyone in my life contributes and supports me uniquely. And so my answer is both men and women make my life easier. Thank you.
Good time. You guys are doing really well on cutting it off right at a time. So good job. Overall, I thought you got great answers there in May. Great insights, and also thanks for sharing some of the background that at least where your parents grew up in, and how that's also kind of drove you to become much more passionate about your own heritage. So I thought that was great. Okay.
I had a long question.
Yeah.
Okay, so like Vanessa was asking about or she was like mentioning like hardships and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like one thing I'm like really afraid of talking about is like the past, especially if I have like family members coming or like a PTSD type of thing. So like in your opinion,
I'm sure what you want. What do you mean, families coming?
oh, like if like there are other like family members, like my family members or other Cambodian people in the audience, like what is a fine line between talking about?
The interview is just going to be you and the judges.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay.
We are not doing this on stage.
Okay. I was like thinking about that for like the longest time.
Yeah, no. The only thing that you're doing on stage is, it's where speaking goes, is your introduction, your social platform, and if you're finalist, your Q&A.
Okay.
The interview is 100% confidential in the room. I think the only person that's gonna be there is the judges, you, me, my assistant to help me keep time for you guys, and maybe one staff member like Jolanda to take photographs for record keeping, but that's really about it. Okay. All right. So yeah, don't worry about offending. You can share anything you want to in that room with the judges, and it will be kept confidential. Okay. Any other questions about the interview, or operations or logistics of the interview in general? No. All right. Good. Okay, Mayfree, you're next. Ready? All right.
Yes.
Let's start off with let's start with you again. Ish, are you ready? Oh, Ish, are you ready? As Judge Ish? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have is Mayfree. I'm gonna start with you as the judge again, okay? All right, and go.
Mayfree, tell me about your platform.
Thank you for your question. My platform is about to educate people in rural remote area about to prevent chronic diseases, because there are some diseases such as myocardial infarction and stroke that can be in the hospital in the right hour, so they can get the right treatment. That's what about my platform.
Okay, thank you. Judge Sarah.
What do you think about the impact of social media today?
Thank you for your question. I think on social media has positive and negative income that we need to be aware before I post it. Because since you post on your social media, you will never get it back. And some people might just screenshot on what you post. Thank you.
Judge Vanessa.
Do you think there should be any type of restrictions or bans against social media, particularly within businesses use social media very positively, but I feel like there's a very negative effect on the consumer side. So what are your thoughts there?
So I think that it's their right to post everything they want, because I believe that every social media, they have the rules that if it against the rule, they will ban. Because I used to post something on my TikTok about my cat that passed away, but look like TikTok doesn't allow me to post it. Thank you.
Judge Kylie?
What inspired you to, what inspired your social platform?
Thank you for your question. I work as in emergency room registered nurse, and I have seen a lot of people came to the hospital with heart attack, and some people they are still young, even like early 30s. And I would like, so I feel like age doesn't matter because it can happen in every age for about the diseases. That's why it inspired me to do this platform about prevent the disease.
Judge May?
In your opinion, what is the most preventable chronic disease and why?
Sorry, could you give me a definition of preventable, please?
So you were talking about your platform is to educate and prevent chronic diseases. Which one do you think is most preventable?
Which one is more? I think we should start at ourselves. Start it with eating. Start with our diet and work out, and start sleep at like 8 to 9 hours. So everything must be start from ourselves to prevent everything. Thank you.
Okay, and that is pretty much time.
I didn't see the timer.
Yeah, you gotta be careful of the time, May for you, because if you're in the actual interview, I will cut you off.
So like when May talk to me, so they show May screen on me, so I didn't see the timer. What about other people do when judges ask you?
Oh, I think everyone keeps it in gallery mode. At least I do, so I can keep on everybody. So if you put in gallery mode, you'll always be able to see my time on the corner there.
Gallery mode. Okay, I'll take a look. Sorry, I think I have to update my Zoom.
No, gallery mode is there's a little icon on the top right corner that says view. You can select gallery instead of speaker, select gallery, and you'll see gallery.
Okay, now I see it.
Okay.
See everyone. Thank you.
And I see everybody here. All right, Sarah, you're the last one. You ready?
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds awesome. Okay, so let's get started with let's go back to you again, Ish. Yeah, let's kick it off and go.
What's your favorite thing about your culture?
My favorite thing about my culture is the warmth and care that Chinese people have towards the people that are special to them. I feel like Chinese people always show care in indirect ways. They say things like, have you eaten? Or they'll offer you everything they have, even when they don't necessarily have like a lot of things. And I believe Chinese culture is just about also looking at the good things in life, like wealth. I feel like they care a lot about that.
Vanessa?
What is your social platform?
My social platform is about understanding the difference between kindness and people pleasing, and instead of just lying to others on what you truthfully believe, it's better to make bold decisions and choose to advocate for yourself. And it's more about putting yourself first to develop the skills you need.
Judge Kylie?
What negative experience led you to having that, or like realizing that idea and making that a part of your social platform?
So I was definitely raised as a people pleaser, and it's also something that I maybe still battle today. And I've just always been more passive and sometimes allow people to take advantage of me being kind to them. But I realized that I can't always put other people's needs before my own, because the one who should love and care for me the most is myself.
Judge May?
How do you practice taking care of yourself or loving yourself?
I think you need to understand your priorities and understand the importance of or the difference between importance and urgency. It's important to weigh what is important to you versus what urgently needs to be done.
Judge Mayfrey.
What is the most favorite thing about your life?
Right now, my favorite things are my friends and family and the people I care about. I feel like I'm so lucky to have all these really special people in my life. Thank you.
Good job on the timing again. And great job on the importance and urgency. I wonder where you got that from.
I wonder.
Good job. Okay, and I love that question, Kylie, on what prompted her to go after that in her platform. A great setup there, Vanessa. So those are great questions. Those are the type of questions that potentially could be asked by these types of judges. They listen to what is said by the previous question, what you drop down as your answer, and if there's something that they're curious about, they'll use their turn to ask more details about that. So be prepared to back stuff up that you mentioned, okay? All right. Overall, good job. I'm gonna assume that you guys want to do some Q&As now, right? Yeah, all right. My gosh, Q&A buffet. Let's do this. All right. Let's start with you, Ish. Are you ready? And let me get my timer ready here. Now, we'll not be seeing the time because you guys won't be seeing the time either on stage. So you're just gonna have to feel this out because we're not going to interrupt you on stage, but we'll be deducting points if you go over. Okay? Here goes. Ish, here is, oh, before I begin, what's the 4 rules again?
Answer the question.
Number 1, answer the question. Good. Number 2,
Don't speak until you know what you're gonna say.
that's right. Don't speak until you know what to say. Number 3,
Use the formula.
right? And that is,
Tell them what you're gonna tell them, and then tell them what you told them.
right. Number 4,
Power word.
yes, you should power
Number
word.
5, and define the parameter.
Yes. Number 5, if there's a weird question that's very ambiguous, like again, like feminism or sin or faith, things that are very, people assume everyone knows, but not everyone defines them in the same way in their heads. Define it for yourself first. If you get one of these weird questions and say, this is how I define faith. Da, 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 da. Now, based on that, this is how I practice my faith. Okay, so just line up and so that you're able to really make sure you control the situation. All right. Okay. Are you ready, Ish?
Yep.
Okay, here goes. What book are you currently reading?
The book that I am currently reading is actually the Harry Potter series. I'm currently on the 4th book, which is The Goblet of Fire, and it's my absolute favorite book in the Harry Potter series. I think that reading these books takes me back to a simpler time because I didn't necessarily have the best childhood, and these books were something that I always used as an escape. And I think to this day, I still do kind of use it as a coping mechanism or as a way to heal myself. So right now I'm reading The Goblet of Fire, and I love rereading the Harry Potter books.
Yeah, 35 seconds. That's good. 10 seconds left. You could maybe add, you could have added maybe one little, and this is totally optional, one little like segment in there about which one is your favorite character. I love this character because she reminds me of me, or she reminds me of makes you laugh or whatever, just to give some flair and how immersed you are in the world, right, of Harry Potter. But otherwise, I thought that was a great answer. I love Harry Potter as well too. I'm sure everyone in the audience will probably have some sort of fond memories of that world. Overall, yeah, I thought that was a really good answer. I would give that probably at least a 9, maybe 9.5. Otherwise, good job. Okay, well done. And good use of the time too. Okay, are you ready, Sarah?
You got this.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, here's your question. Sarah, Do you keep a diary?
Thank you for the question, Francis. In terms of a diary, like a book that I lock up and keep, I don't think by that definition I have a diary, but I do journal certain thoughts that I have. I don't necessarily write in today I did this and jot down all the points, but I do like to write down my thoughts in either my notes through my phone, or I do have a separate pink journal that I really enjoy using. Thank you for the question.
Okay, that was 40 seconds, so good job for keeping your time. There was no formula.
Sorry. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
For number 3, I did not know exactly when you had finished, so I had to just assume that you were done when you stopped talking and then hit time at that point, right? So, and from what I got from your answer was, no, you don't keep a diary in the most traditional sense, but you do keep a journal, which you
Yes.
record your thoughts and your ideas, right? And you can say, so in that respect, that is essentially my diary, and how I reflect, not necessarily on how I keep track of my life, but how I grow and how I evolve, and for me to look back and see the journey I've taken. So in the most strictest sense, it's not necessarily a diary, but it's a journal, a track, a record of my life, of the things that I deem important, and you go in detail. And you can say, so in that respect, my journal is my diary, and that is what I keep to myself, and helps me grow as a person. So thank you so much for that question, if you wanted to end it that way. But yeah, you recap it again and say that your journal is essentially your version of the diary,
Okay.
right? So that way we know, the judges know you're done with your answer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Otherwise, good job. No deduction on the points for timing. I give that. I'll also say it's a little rough.
Yeah.
Right? So not quite as smooth as I would like to see it, but at least answer, you did answer the question. So I would give it a 7,
Mhm.
right? The more smoother answers and recapping it would have also made it nice and tight too. Okay. So otherwise, not bad. Otherwise. Okay, Vanessa, are you ready? Okay, here goes. What is a good one for you?
Simple is best.
Oh, you want simple, huh? Okay. All right. Here is your question. Vanessa, why do you want this title?
Whatever title I receive through the Miss Asian Global pageant will honestly be an honor in itself. I am not coming into this pageant with hopes of any particular title at all. But to win any title, especially Miss Asian Global, would mean the world to me. It would very much validate the kind of person my mom has raised me to be, and the confidence that she's instilled in me, and being able to showcase everything that my family and friends have done to me in real time on stage. I think winning any title, Miss Asian Global, would honestly be just the A+ cherry on top to all the love and support I've received throughout my lifetime. So to reiterate, it would mean the world.
Okay. 51 seconds.
I mean,
So not bad. That's a 200%, a 200th deduction of a point there. I think I know what your answer was, but it was a little bit around the bush, because the question I asked, if you wanted a simple one, and this was the simplest one I could find, but sometimes the simple ones are also the most deep ones too, right? And so why do you want this title? And what I got was, oh, so many, this is for, any title would be great. This is for me to help make my mom proud, and also for friends and family that's really invested time in me. So any title would be great to make all that worthwhile, right? So yeah, that's what to really make sure I was clear. Remember, the question is, why do you want to win this title? And your answer would be, at least I think from what I heard here, was I want to win this title not as self gratification or self pride, but hopefully as a thank you to all the energy and hopes my mom put into me, and all the trust and the support I've received from my friends. This title is for them, and I want to win this title for them. I think any title actually would be wonderful to win for them. And I'd be thankful to be able to take that home and share it and display it proudly on all behalf of them. But at the end of the day, why I want to win this title is as a way to thank you all the love and support I received from my family, my friends, and the community. And really be clear on why that title is important to you.
Yeah, you really bit me with that question. I blanked out immediately.
I gave you, that was only six words. Simple
Yeah,
question.
I know. It was so unexpected. I'll practice that one.
All right,
sure.
good job. Kylie, do you want a long one or a short one?
I don't really care.
Okay, good. I can pick what I think would be good for you then. Let's try. Okay, let's try this one. Kylie, here's your question. Why are you here today?
I'm here today because I was truly inspired by all the friends that I've made who have competed in past years. Watching them grow more confident has really inspired me to want to undergo that same change. But more importantly, the reason I'm here is because I really want to advocate for my social platform, Dare to Dance. I truly want to make an impact in my community, and I believe that Miss Asian Global is the perfect platform for me to be able to amplify my message of teaching youth to become their most confident selves. And so I would say the reason that I'm here is not only for personal growth, but also to advocate for what I believe in. Thank you.
Good, 36 seconds, good timing. And yeah, that's a very clear answer. You're here for your personal growth, but also to advocate for your platform. And you mentioned again, Dare to Dance, and recapped it again. So that was very clear. Good job. I would say that's easily a 9, maybe a 9.5. Otherwise, good job. Well done. And you used all the rules. So good job. All right. Are you ready, May?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Here goes. Here's your question, May. May, tell me something to remember you by.
A way that you can remember me is by the phrase, a champion of pride. Growing up in a family of genocide survivors and as a refugee family in America, my family as a whole has overcome so many struggles and worked really hard to where we are today. But despite all our struggles and the obstacles that we faced, I am so proud of the past that we have overcome, where we are today, and I'm so excited for the future. So the way you can remember me by is by the phrase, a champion of pride. Thank you.
Well done, 39 seconds. And I love that. That was a great answer. That was a hard question. And you did all 4 roles. You actually used the 4th role and used your power word and was able to answer the question with that. So well done. I would have said that was at least 9.5 out of 10. Good job, May. Well done. Proud of you. All right. Mayfree, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Let me see. What's a good hard one for you too? Because I'm at the stage right now of training in this, what are we, late June, where you guys should be able to handle tough questions now. Okay, let's try this one. Mayfree, other than yourself, besides yourself, who do you think should win this pageant?
Thank you for your question. I believe that every of my sister pageants are unique, and if someone who I want to win this pageant, I would like someone who is being a leader, volunteer, and confident, because these three things will lead to Miss Asian Global that need to sacrifice to help the community, and of course being the leadership must be confident. Therefore, that's why I'm looking for someone who being volunteer, confident, and being a leadership. Thank you. I forgot.
That's okay. 42 seconds. Good job. Everything, I would have given that a perfect 10, except for the last part where you forgot what your answer was. Leadership, confidence. What was the third thing? Does anyone remember what you said? I was hoping that you recap it for me, so I remember it. Leadership, confidence.
Volunteer, confident, leadership.
Okay, it was volunteer. That was what we're looking for. You brought in you closed it with someone who's a leader, who's confident, and then we just kind of hung there for a while. So otherwise, good. I would say that's a 9. It would have been. I would probably give it a 9.5 or 10 if you got that the closing was smoother. But otherwise, great answer. I loved it. The last part was the one that just kind of hung in there for a little bit. But otherwise, good job. Well done. And you kept it within time too. So yeah, that's probably a 9. Okay. Good job. Okay. I'm not going to ask because I know you guys want more of these. So let me see what's good for you, Ish. Something that is challenging or someone of your intellect. Let's do this one. This is a fun question. I'd like to hear your answer to this. Ish, here is your question. If I have in front of me an imaginary box, tell me what's inside.
Inside your imaginary box, I believe you have all of that wisdom and knowledge that you bestow upon us every week. I would say the owner of this box, Francis, is definitely someone who has a lot of wisdom and a lot of things I've learned so much from him this entire summer. And I think that if he owned a box and were willing to give it to me, it would represent all the wisdom and knowledge that I've been able to get from him this summer.
29 seconds. Good job. Thank you for that.
Weird question.
Yes, thank you for that answer. That was very sweet. Those are going to be either all that wisdom or tacos. So that's probably in the spots.
What?
Tacos.
Okay.
So good job. I loved it. The 29 seconds. I wanted more. Right? Yeah, there's still like 16 seconds that you could use. So go crazy, go deep. These are questions designed to test your imagination. Just how much you either limit yourself or don't limit yourself on how you can just go crazy with insight and possibilities. So go in directions of where people wouldn't expect you to go to, and to show how creative you can be at that moment, how magical you can be. Okay, but otherwise, I love that. That was a great answer.
Francis, if I want to answer that question, can I just say that it would be the door that can go everywhere? Is that right?
You can crawl inside the box. Sure. Yeah, the box. I guess depending on how big the box is. Yeah, if I made it this big, yeah, I could crawl. Yeah, that would be a good answer. I could say, if that box is big enough for me to fit into, then I would want that box to be the doorway to other dimensions where I could go anywhere I want to, anywhere I imagined, and anywhere, anytime I please. So yeah, with that parameter that you can fit into the box, that'd be great. I hope you can get back out of the box if that's the case, but that would be a great adventure. Good job. I love that. That was a good answer. Okay.
There's a cartoon that have that dog can go everywhere.
Really? Okay. I need to watch that. I need to watch that one. That's always my favorite type of stories. I would give that answer-ish at least a 9. Maybe, but I would have given it higher if I got more.
Mhm.
I wanted to hear more. I love where you're going with it, but it ended just a little bit sooner than I
Mhm.
would like to hear, right? So otherwise, great job though. All right. Are you ready, Sarah?
Mhm.
Okay, hard question because I know you like those.
Yay.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
She said yay.
Is what?
She said yay.
Yay? Oh, that means she really wants a hard one. All right. All right. Let's see. What is a good one for you, Sarah? Hmm. Okay, let's try this one then. Sarah, here is your question. What have you done to leave a legacy?
Sorry, you cut out.
What have you done to leave a legacy?
Thank you for the question, Francis. I believe that what I've done to leave a legacy is to spread kindness and show compassion to all the people around me. I've had many interactions with people where I wasn't sure of the impact that I've left with them. But I've realized recently, just through my sponsorship, that I actually have left an impact, and so many people are willing to support me. And it shows that my care and kindness to them left an impact. So I believe the legacy that I have left behind is to be kind to others and a good friend. Thank you.
Okay, good. 48 seconds. So just a little bit over time, that's 100th of a point deduction. Otherwise, good answer. It was better, much smoother than the first answer you got. So you've improved a lot already just in 2 questions. I would say that it felt like to be a good friend was kind of tacked on at the very end. But if you just ended like, and so like say I think I believe, or I believe I left behind is to show kindness to others and right there and be perfect, right?
Okay.
You didn't need to add, unless you said in the beginning, the legacy I believe I've left behind is to be kind to others and to be a good friend to them. Then you can cap on it, but don't cap it on at the end when you didn't kind of bring it up in the beginning.
Okay.
Right. Otherwise, I thought it was a great answer. I loved it. You're a little over time. Taking that into account, that should be about at least a 9. Maybe some judges give a 9.5 as well too. But that's a 9 minus 100th of a point deduction, so that'd be like an 8.9 right now. Okay.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Vanessa, are you ready?
Mm.
Okay. Here's your question, Vanessa. If you had a choice, would you rather be the president or the first lady?
If I had a choice, I would choose to be the first lady only because I believe I'm a lady myself, and seeing how Michelle Obama in particular has led the country through her efforts as the first lady under Obama's reign, I thought was very inspiring. She was really into making sure healthy meals were a priority for schools, and her legacy just as the first lady is something that will carry on throughout the next generations of presidents to come. I think she's a great role model. And if I could choose whether to be president or first lady, I would choose first lady based off of Michelle Obama's guidance as one.
Good, 42 seconds. All right, good. So you cited exactly what your answer was. First lady, you explained why you had a role model and what she's done for the country and how you would want to model your contributions through that. So, and you recapped it again. So good job and good use of time. That's at least a 9.5. So good job. Maybe even 10 for some judges, but I think that's up there. So good job, Vanessa. All right, Kylie, you ready?
Mhm.
Okay, Kylie. What is good for you here? Huh. Yeah, what the hell? Why not? Okay. Kylie, here is your question. Who's your favorite villain?
I would say that my favorite villain is the evil queen from Snow White. I think she's always sort of struggled with her self-appearance, and that was her biggest insecurity, and all she wanted was just to be beautiful. But I think from her story, we can really learn about what's truly important is that we are confident in our own skin and that we let go of our insecurities and let go of what people set as beauty standards and to really just truly be ourselves. So although she did struggle with her own insecurities, I think that she can teach society a great lesson about how important it is to just be more confident in your own skin. So I would say that my favorite villain would be the evil queen from Snow White for that reason. Thank you.
Good job. 43 seconds. You guys are doing a much better job today on keeping within time across the board as the entire class. So very impressed with that. I love that answer. You're very clear. Who your villain was and exactly why. Something that was very relatable. And you kept it again. That's easily 9.5 and that is not a 10. So good job. All right. Are you ready, May? Okay, May. Here's your question. May, if you could change one non-physical thing about yourself, what would it be?
If I could change one non-physical thing about myself, it would be the ability to sing. Mostly because as someone who speaks so many languages, I speak Mandarin and Cantonese, Khmer, Spanish, and English. I want to be able to speak more fluently in all the languages, and I think singing is a really great way to build up my confidence and at least sound nice when I speak these languages. So if I could change one non-physical thing about myself, it would be to sound beautiful when I sing. Thank you.
Good, almost 39 seconds there. So that's good. You answered the question very clear. To be able to sing in all the languages that you speak beautifully. And because you know all these languages, that would be the next step going forward with like expressing yourself in these languages. So that's good. That's at least a 9, probably 9.5. Really well done. Good job overall. All right.
Yep.
Okay, Mayfair, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Mayfree, here's your question. If you could live in another country for 1 month, where would you go?
Thank you so much for your question. If I could live in another country for 1 month, I would choose Maldives because Maldives is my favorite country and the destination that I would like to go because of the beautiful island, and there are so many islands. Also the culture and the delicious food. And yes, if I would like to stuck with somewhere else for a month, I would choose Maldives. Thank you.
Okay, 30 seconds. So that was a good answer. You're very clear on it. You explained why, the culture, the food, the beautiful islands. Short, a little bit short. 30 seconds. So that's still 15 seconds you could have gone on some more detail. And have you been there before?
No, I want to go to
Okay.
for Hanoi.
And you can say that because I've never been there before. I've done a lot of my research. I've heard so many stories. I've watched so many videos, and as soon as I get the time and the money, that's my next stop. So if I could live any place, but when give a little more details of like why it's also besides just the food, the culture, why is it personally something that is so exciting for you, right? And then what you've done already to like prepare for this trip that you're going to take some time in the future. So those are great questions, but otherwise, good job. I give an 8 because I feel like you could have given me more detail. Okay. All right, good job. Otherwise, all right. I guess another round, right? Is what you guys want. All right, sure. Okay. At this rate, I'm gonna ask you guys every question on the internet, which should be a good thing. All right. Huh. I guess this would be good for you. Actually, I think I gotta find something more challenging for you. Okay. Okay, let's try this one. All right, Ish, let's try this. Ish, what famous person is your personality most like?
This is maybe a bad example, but I think my personality can be most like Donald Trump's, only because we are both very confident people and we stick by what we say. And a lot of people accuse us of being too honest at times as well. And those are definitely some traits that me and Donald Trump share. So although I don't agree with his politics, I do completely understand when people may believe that we share some similarities because we do have that confidence, that because we do have that confidence, we do have that drive, we do have that honesty. And I think that Donald Trump can sometimes be a role model because it shows that literally anyone can be president. So you should always go shoot for your dreams.
Okay, good show. I love that. That was a great answer. 56 seconds. So we're looking at 300th of a point deduction here. Otherwise, great. I love the fact that you weren't afraid to cite anyone there, and you backed it up with all your answers. What happened at the very end there? Did you forget what recap with?
I wasn't very confident with my answer. So I was like, oh shoot, this is just a terrible answer. Should I just quit right now?
No, I thought it was a good
Eric
answer.
gave me the courage to
You can have
go.
any answer. You can have any answer you want to, as long as you can back yourself up. If of course, if you choose someone who's not necessarily, if you're gonna say, oh, I think Hitler is probably the best, you better back that shit up really well and say, because there's no one that's a fan of that guy in the audience. I can promise you that. Right? But if you can back that
I
really
wanted
well,
to say something interesting, but definitely not too offensive.
yeah, Donald Trump definitely would raise eyebrows, but he's right at that cusp where you can like say, these are things about him that I personally admire him. Outside of being president, these are the things about him that I identify with. So that's fine. You can totally do that. Okay. Because I would advise against the Hitler route though. But okay. All right.
Somehow we said Donald Trump and your mind immediately went to Hitler though.
Yeah, I didn't say it had to be a great famous person. I just said a famous person, right? All right. When you said Donald, I heard Donna. I was like, is she gonna say duck? But no, it was Trump. Okay, so that was good though. I'd give that. I would give that right up until the end. Then it started. That's where it started like unraveling a little bit. But up until the end, it would have been a 9. At the end where you kind of like lost a little bit of it, I would say brings it down to a little bit of an 8 or 8.5. So be like Donald Trump and just stick with what you say and be proud of it
Okay.
and stick with your word, right? That if you're gonna go with that, then go with that. Okay. All right. Good job. Okay. Something for you, Sarah. Something that's special for you. Okay. Sarah, here is your question. Sarah, tell me about your self-confidence.
Thank you for that question, Francis. I think my self-confidence is still a work in progress. I feel like I've had a big journey to go on in order to reach the confidence level I'd like. However, I'm still very proud that I've made so much improvement from my past self. And I believe that it's going in an upward trajectory. So I think my confidence needs more work, which is why I'm here at this pageant, but I'm proud of the progress that I've made along the way. Thank you.
Good, 38 seconds, good. So you tell me it's a work in progress. You tell me what you're doing to improve it and how this pageant is also part of that whole journey in there. And you recapped again, that it's a work in progress. So overall, good. I'd say that was a good solid, I give that at least an 8.5, probably more of a 9. So good job on that. Well done. And good use of your time, by the way. Okay. Vanessa. Are you
You
ready?
should ask them about the submarine.
The submarine, which one? So many questions in my head. Which one was the submarine?
The submersible, like the implosion from the submersible that happened recently.
Oh, you
You know,
mean you mean as a question? Ask that question as a current event?
Would that not be asked at the pageant?
It could. I mean, but I don't know what are your what are your thoughts on the what was the name
Or
of the
like,
company?
would you go on it or whatever?
I mean,
I know people could think about as a question surrounding it, but I figured since it's a hot topic.
it is a hot topic. I'm not sure if it's gonna hot topic in August, but it's a hot topic, right? And it's because remember these questions are not gonna be written until literally like an hour before the pageant.
Okay.
We keep these questions so much in the air. I don't even know what they are. They're written by the staff members in the closed locker room that I definitely do not have access to because they know that, if I was to writing questions, I would probably subconsciously write out all the questions I've been testing you guys on, and that would be not entertaining at all. So we had to make sure that everyone who doesn't work with you guys are the ones put these questions together. I don't know whether it'll still be a hot topic in August, and I'm not sure how to ask the question. What would you go in a submarine now, or how would you what does the term catastrophic implosion mean to you today? I don't know what questions you could ask. Or do you think cylindrical or spherical is the best shape to immerse into water? Do you think $250,000 is too much to pay for a coffin? I don't know. You tell me what kind of questions could be asked with that. There's so many different things that they're memeing on the internet nowadays. Okay. Let me see. Was a good question for you, Vanessa. Okay, let's try this one. Vanessa, here, I'm gonna show my clock. Okay. Vanessa, here's your question. If you could go back in time and change one thing, what would it be and why?
if I could go back in time and change one thing, Honestly, that's a really big question, only because first of all, I wouldn't change anything. I think history is the groundwork for evolution and for just being better as a person and as society. I think the reason why a lot of people prefer to choose one thing to change is because there is a lot of pain or self or inflicted tragedies that happen that could seem changeable, but to me that exemplifies growth in how how societies grow afterwards. So I wouldn't change a thing.
Okay, 47 seconds, so a little bit long. And overall, I like the answer of you wouldn't change a thing because it's how you defined who you are today as a person, right? All the things happen for a reason, essentially, is what I'm hearing, right? Okay, good. I thought it was a little bit, wordy, and it got a little bit rough in the middle, but you got back to the end and the beginning, and this was good. So, and just, a little bit off, a little bit over time by 2 seconds, so that's only 100th of a point deduction. Overall good, but the middle was just a little bit rough as I think you're trying to explain we are the product of what happened to us, right? Because when you start off saying there are so many things that I would probably want, but at the end I probably wouldn't change anything, right? At least that's what I thought I heard you say, right? So maybe, I guess, if this was just kind of a question, you can say like, there are so many things that would probably be wonderful to change, but I wouldn't change anything because I would not be who I am today because of that. So the hard or great or sweet or sour or bitter, I embrace everything that happened to me. And there's always fun to think of the what ifs, but everything that I am today, I own from what happened to me, and I wouldn't change anything that even if I given the wish or the opportunity to do that, because that would change who I am today. And I'm very proud and happy of who I am before you today. Something along those lines, right? Make it really clear how you stand on that, especially in the middle as you're explaining that, okay?
Mhm.
Good job, though. Otherwise, I give that an 8.5. I think it's a good answer, a little rough in the middle, but otherwise, good job. Okay. I'm not answering that. Okay. Okay. Let's hang up on that call. Okay. Let's go to you. Are you ready, Kylie?
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Okay, this is a fun question. Kylie, here's your question. If you could give one piece of advice to your parents, what advice would you give them?
If I could give one piece of advice to my parents, it would be to sometimes just let go and be a little bit more open-minded and to let me explore my own independence. As someone who has been raised by a very overprotective family, although I do appreciate all of the lessons that they've taught me and the guidance that they've given me, and I believe that they have really shaped who I am today. If there was one thing that I would advise them to do is to really just sometimes let go and give me a little bit more freedom to explore myself and be able to discover who I want to be in the future. And I'm really glad that as someone who's going to be an incoming freshman at UC Berkeley, I think that this is the perfect opportunity for me to be able to finally explore that freedom and to gain a little bit more of a sense of independence. And I'm really excited to be able to do that in college. But if there was one thing that I would advise my parents to do is to sometimes just give me a little bit more freedom to explore who I want to be in the future. Thank you.
Good job. I love that answer. That was an unorthodox question that I just made up. I wanted to hear how that.
Did I go over?
1 minute and 1 second. So that's an entire point deduction. overall, I love that, how you had talked about giving you, the advice you would give to your parents would be to let them, that they should be a little bit more relaxed, especially as you're growing older now and becoming your own person. And that's I think a message that Sarah can definitely resonate with as well too. A lot of people go through that, right? And so could Ish, actually. So that's great. You just have to be very careful. So if I gave you, that's probably be a 9.5 or even a 10, but with the penalty, you're down to an 8.5 or a 9. Sorry, an 8.5 or an 8. Yeah. So otherwise, good job though, but terrible way to lose points. So be very mindful of your timing, okay? Okay, otherwise, great job.
Wait, hold on, I have a question. If it goes over 1 minute and
Mhm.
you already lost a point, but it went over an extra second, what happens then?
Oh, we won't take off more than a point, so
Oh, okay.
you can just start, you can talk for 5 minutes straight, which would be embarrassing, but you could talk for 5 minutes straight and we wouldn't deduct any more points. We would just be looking at each other going, someone turn the light off so she knows that she's done. So we would literally just let you keep talking if you could talk for 5 minutes straight. But you wouldn't, first of all, you would never lose more than 1 point. We feel like in the Miss Asian Girl pageant, as you saw in the scores that I've shown you guys, if you lose 1 point, you're pretty much out of the top 5. If you're in the top 5 to begin with and you lose 1 point, that will kick you out of the top 5 altogether. Because the number 5 and number 1 are differentiated by about 1/10 of a point. So that's why 1/100th of a point can actually move you up between the top 5 from first to even third or even fifth. But a whole point will kick you down to from 1 or even 5 to number 13 or lower. So don't go over a minute. Try to go over anything, but definitely don't go over a minute. A minute, it's that's a terrible way to lose a point. Okay. Any questions on point deduction or timing? Okay, good job. May, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Did you want a submarine question? Or do you want to,
No.
okay. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Like, there's somebody here, but it's gotta be something that's like fun and worthy for you. Wait, I might as well do this. Okay, here is your question. May, if you could star in a movie, who would you want to choose as your co-star?
If I could star in a movie, I would choose the character Rick from Rick and Morty. The reason why I would choose Rick is because someone who, as smart as he is, can always get us out of any situation. And even if we meet a near-death experience, I can find a way to make myself laugh and still have fun. So if I were to be in any movie, I would co-star with the character Rick from Rick and Morty.
Okay, good. 29 seconds, so you definitely didn't go over time, but I would have liked to use some of that 15 seconds that you still had left to work with, right? And I love the answer though. I never thought I'd hear someone cite a cartoon as a co-star. That's actually pretty clever. And I would love to see that movie if Rick was your co-star. What kind of movie that would be? That'd be such a fun and exciting movie to watch. So okay, I love that. That's very cool. I would give that a I give it 8.5 because it was a bit shorter than I would liked it. I would have liked you to describe more about the personalities of Rick. And what was it about his personality, his character, that you really like, and how that complements you as the star, right? If you could still probably do it in like 16 seconds.
Yeah. I just
Right.
blanked.
That's okay. All right. But otherwise, good job. So I would give that 8.5 just because it was going well, but it would have been great to a little more detail in there. Okay. Awesome. All right. Mayfree, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's do this one. Okay. If you had to choose to be either beautiful or intelligent, which would you choose?
Thank you so much for your question. If I have to choose to be beautiful or intelligent, I would like to choose intelligent because nowadays there's a plastic surgery if that I can do on my face if I would like to do. But from my brain, I can't really do the surgery. And I believe that beauty from inside would be the best. Therefore, I would like to choose intelligent. Thank you. My answer is short again.
It is, it's short, 27 seconds. Although I love that as an answer of a very intelligent woman. Of course I choose intelligence, because then I could just get plastic surgery and I have beauty and intelligence. Very, 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 very intelligent woman answer. I love that. But yes, I wanted it more. That's way too short. That's 27 seconds there. So a little more detail on why intelligence is important to you and what you would do with it. I did love the plastic surgery answer. But yeah, a little more detail on why that is something that you value above like physical attraction, okay? Otherwise, I'd say from a witty point of view, I would give that probably an 8.5. But from the duration, I'd probably drop it back down to an 8 because I want it more, right? So about an 8, but otherwise, good job.
Thank you.
Okay, it is now 7:38. So Emily and my class with her will be in about 22 minutes. Would you guys like to take a little 22-minute break before we meet up again? Okay, good job. Get your, I don't know if she's gonna have you guys walk, but get your heels ready just in case. And I'll see you guys back here online, well, at that link over there, in about 22 minutes, okay? All right, talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you, Francis.
Welcome. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye.